At no time do you see my dad putting his hand on American currency. At no time do you see my dad putting himself on any currency of any nation in the world. In Judea and in Israel, you never ever see in any of those four synoptic gospels as they are referred to by you biblical scholars and theologians. In those 28 chapters of the book of Matthew, 16 chapters of the book of Mark, 28 chapters of the book of St. Luke, and 21 chapters of the book of St. John, you don't see Jesus Christ touching money. What does that tell you? He would not touch it being the Son of God. Why? Because money was made by sinful hands, and he would not touch and allow himself to be contaminated even with the field. He did not even want the until this day, my daddy saved me from money. He set me free. He began setting me free 20 years ago. And in the last 10 years, my dad had made, he said, oh, you'll receive the benefit of money, but you are not going to be allowed to handle money, because many years ago, back in about 25 or so years ago, I was, back in 1982, 81, 82, I had become almost a millionaire. 3 times over. Had a business plan that had made me a millionaire in a matter of a month. And he took it from me in 1 hour and instead sent me to jail. And when I went to jail for child support. And it wasn't because I didn't pay it or couldn't pay it. I had made so much, I made more money in my life that particular week from a powerful business concept that I had mastered, that a man who lived in New York City had shared with me over the telephone. He had written a book about financial success and had shared with me one-on-one on the phone of what I could do, what was the possibilities of an idea that I had for investing in real estate investment and in other type of businesses. And he showed me a way that I could raise a large deposit for buying 2 separate pieces of real estate property popular here in the city area of the metropolitan Atlanta. And it came to the total of about, roughly about 150 units, apartment units, 2 separate units totaling to about somewhere in the neighborhood of $21 million. And from that one transaction alone, I made close to about $120,000 commission. And really had been owed something in the neighborhood of about $400,000 more that I was supposed to collect. And instead, he took all that money from me in one day. And instead, he made me go to jail without that check. Before I could go to the bank and collect that check, he made me go down to that probation office, and they locked me up and wouldn't let me go pick up the check to pay my child support. And it was only a mere, I think I owed something like $1,800. No, $800. I owed about $800. I had a check waiting for me for over $60,000 between 2 banks downtown. One of them was a Citizen and Southern Bank downtown, and the Citizens and Trust Bank downtown. I had used 2 banks to construct this real estate deal. And for the lack of that, I went to jail for child support. And that was the first time in my life I had ever gone to jail. But in that one experience alone, the very first week of me being behind bars, and boy, that was far worse than any kind of environment of jail today. It's almost like penitentiary today, the way it was then here in Atlanta. They had 2 principal locations. One was called Bellwood, and one was called Jefferson Street. Bellwood. And boy, let me tell you something. When you went in there, that was a jungle of 200 to 300 monstrous, murderous men being piled up in one holding cell before they even put you into a populated area. And all the jail cells was bars, baby. Wasn't no glass, wasn't no convenient key locks and nothing like that. You was locked behind bars. And boy, in there, people was in there getting killed, murdered. And I know because I witnessed it myself. And the only thing that saved me was the power of God. I began preaching the gospel from the very outset because I had a dream one night. And he woke me up about the third night behind bars. In the middle of the night, everybody's snoring and sleeping. He woke me up out of my bunk, and he appeared to me in a vision. And he said, son, he said, I have not forsaken you. He said, I am merely preparing you. I have brought you here to train you and to redirect you because you would have been pursuing the wrong destiny. You see, prosperity, money can mislead people away from the destiny of Christ. It can lead people away from the call of Jesus Christ. While you may be trying to make $120,000 a year, the call of Christ may be more in the level of $20,000 a year. But you'll be in the perfect will of Jesus Christ. And you'll be in the right places at the right time to meet all of the right people. But when you get money in abundance, which is called out of control wealth of this world, the very thing that Satan tempts the entire planet with, the love of money, it will place people in a mindset that lets them think that they can do whatever they choose to do. And so because they can afford to do it, because it's convenient for them to do it, because spending money is like push button for them at that point, then people are tempted. They are tempted with the temptation of spending that money in abundance that they have received. And when they send themselves on that cruise, or they send themselves on that nice little Caribbean trip to the Bahamas or to the Caribbean, or they send themselves to some nation like France, England, Paris, they send themselves to Africa, and they send themselves to all the places they dream and imagine they ever wanted to go with money. They are sending themselves away from the call of Jesus Christ here in the United States. Money will lead you away from the cross. That's why it says, that's why he wrote about it like that. He said he specifically wanted the body of Christ to know, beware, 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 beware. For the love of money is the root of all evil. He was trying to tell people that money is dangerous to anybody in the church because it's created by sinful hands. It was created by unrighteous people, ungodly people, unsaved people. Manufactured its concept and manufactured everything on the mere touch of money. Has sin played it all around it. There's nothing holy and righteous about the American currency because it was created by sinful hands. And because the wealth of this world in any form or fashion is created by sinful hands is the reason why my dad would never, ever touch it in Israel. And he set me free from that horror of wanting to drive a 911 turbo Porsche or a Bentley Continental Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini or an Aston Martin or some other dream car that I've always envisioned wanting to possess, or an RV, that had all the cubicle apartments attached to it, or owning a Learjet, a Gulfstream or a Commander twin turbo, and all of these things that I envisioned that wealth would allow me to purchase. These things would have sent me in any place but the will of Jesus Christ. No, ladies and gentlemen, I found the rapture of the church in prison. I found the rapture of the church in jail. And that's why I can hear so clearly what no other preacher in this country can hear. No other preacher in this country can hear what God is saying, what Jesus Christ is saying in the 34th chapter of the book of Ezekiel. this very night. Let me tell you exactly what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to read it to you slowly. I want all Christians